Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be painting these Arco Flagellants. Although I'm not going to be playing them as Arco Flagellants, I'm going to play them in my Mechanicum army. More for that later. Yeah, I start here by priming a completely different model because I was going to paint the Thanatar today. I ended up not painting the Thanatar and rather painting these guys. They also got a black prime and then a Rhinox hide prime as a base coat. Here you see me apply some Bugman's Glow from Citadel, straight like a Zenithal, but hitting a lot of the areas. Then I go in with a mix and then with pure Elvic Flesh from Vallejo. This again, Zenithal, just to build up the skin. This is a quite quick guide, so I'm zapping through paints quite fast. After this I apply a quite light wash of Reichland Flesh Shade. Looks a bit heavy here, I dab that off via a wet brush afterwards to until I'm happy with the result, but this depends on what kind of skin tone you want, how deep you want the recesses to be shaded. Yeah, these models were slightly converted. I clipped off some bits, but they really still are Arco Flagellants. That's how they looked then. Now I start applying all the base coats. That means just flat black on all the metal parts, for example. Here I had a little bit of a snack, some hummus, a Coke, some bread. Always important to keep the nutrients up when painting for longer times. After that I continued to do the black for the last two models. Now I'm further continuing with the base coats. I mix together Glacier Blue from Vallejo, a normal white, just plain white, I think it's called Dead White, also from Vallejo. And I add 2 drops of black, so it's 4 drops of blue, 4 drops of white, 2 drops of black, to get my Mechanicum color that I always use for the details. Here I start applying them to the fabrics, and I would say this was the most precarious part of the whole painting process because it was a bit difficult to get in some of the nooks and crannies. Now I take Basilicanum Grey, the contrast paint from Citadel, to kind of more like a wash, to wash the cloth parts. Now I'm starting by sponging the metal with a bit of silver. This can be any silver, whatever you're using for your army. Oh, and by the way, I also use that white color to paint the little tubes on the back. Just wanted to point that out. To nearly finish off the metal, we use some metal slag by Ammo Mig and brush that pigment all over the metal parts. Yeah, you can see that here in detail. It just gives the metal a really nice subtle sheen. I then went on a detour to try and buy a rotating kind of display stand in a flea market thing near to me, but they didn't have it anymore, and that was very sad. Here I used some voluptuous pink to make the skin look a bit more sickly. I made that in some crevices, and I also highlighted the scars they have via this paint. A little bit more specific, here I applied voluptuous pink around the parts where the metal met the skin on the arms, and I think that really beautifully highlights the weapons. Sometimes it's important to, through these means, detail or bring out certain details a bit more by separating them through harder paints like the voluptuous pink. I go in again with some blood also around the arms, also to do what I just said, and I also apply blood in some other areas. Later I also applied some blood via airbrushes, like the splatter effect. You can also do that with a normal brush, but yeah, you can see here some of the other parts that I applied blood to. Yeah, especially around the backpack thing, that also looks like it hurts. Now here I come in, and because I wanted to have a bit more detail on their heads, I take a gold, I think it's also from Vallejo, and detail the head a bit. Now here you see I already did the base, and it was already time to paint the rim of the base black. The base was done just like in my other Mechanicum videos, I don't have to show you again. Here the final part was painting the eyes, and I also slapped some green, I think, on the tubes on their back, but really that's not that important. Just pick whatever color you like. Yeah, and here are some finished shots.